Welcome back, everyone. My name is Pete, and alongside me is Anthony. We are coming to you live from league headquarters today as the playoff results for Round 1 were officially announced.
Like I mentioned last week, Round 1 of the playoffs consists of 12 teams which battled it out within their own conference. Only one team in each conference can advance to the second round.
Today, we learn who made it into the second round, but first, we have some shocking news.
Sadly, two teams had to drop out of the playoffs early. The Philadelphia Soul from the East and Kenny from the North.
Coach of the Philadelphia Soul, R. Smooth, was fired right before the playoffs began.
The league is currently investigating the situation and will release their own findings at a later date. For now, Pete and I have done our own research.
Please keep in mind, what I'm about to tell you is all speculation at this point. Anthony and I have received some anonymous reports that the organization was unhappy with R. Smooth's efforts this year. Sure, they may have placed first in their conference, but only by 20 points. Informants from inside their camp suggested to us that a secret meeting may have taken place between Coach R. Smooth and the scoreboard technician for Philadelphia Soul's first matchup in the playoffs. If this is true, what does it all mean? Well, we're not quite sure, but we speculate that R. Smooth knew he was going to get fired and was not happy about it. If this conspiracy theory is true, R. Smooth may have tried to sabotage his former team so that they lose in the playoffs. The meeting with the technician could have been a way for him to get back at ownership. Although we don't know if this is true or not, something clearly happened. The Philadelphia Soul submitted no scores this week, ultimately forfeiting the playoffs.
We're all very surprised by this. I mean, we're talking about the Philadelphia Soul. The team is one of the original 48 and a respected one at that.
I also find it strange that as soon as this conspiracy theory comes out, the owner announces his retirement.
Yeah, that is quite odd actually. I think there might be a deeper story, but with her name out of the limelight, we may never know the truth.
It wasn't only Philadelphia Soul who took the loss this week, as Kenny from the Northern Conference mistakenly missed their flight, resulting in a forfeit.
That's just piss poor management by the organization. Kenny was originally in 4th place and hopped into the top 3 once we learned that Andrew could no longer compete.
Yeah, I don't know if they weren't paying attention or what. Either way, they forfeit and thus getting knocked out in round 1. So where does that leave us?
Well, for the Northern Conference and the Eastern Conference, only 2 teams competed against each other. In the North, without Kenny being able to play, it came down to Cogweave and Jamaican Soldiers. And in the East, without Philadelphia Soul, it was Patrick and Big Lugnuts.
So what are we waiting for? Let's announce the results for round 1 of the playoffs.
In the North, Cogweave advances, scoring 45 this week.
In the South, Devil's Reject with 42 points.
The East, Big Lugnuts advance with only 23 points.
And the West, Money Mace has 45. So there you have it, your top 4. Cogweave, Devil's Reject, Big Lugnuts, and Money Mace will all be advancing to round 2.
Hold on, Pete. Wait a second. Can we just pause to recognize the Devil's Rejects? The team that at the beginning of the season, everybody thought they would make it out of the South and would be a first-round exit for the 2nd year in a row. It's clear who the favorite was, and obviously that was Gorilla King. Devil's Rejects is truly a great organization. If this isn't true upset, I have no idea what is. The Devil's Rejects has words for the Gorilla King, and I quote, "The team has fought hard all year, let's be clear. But this is what happens when you count your eggs before they hatch. Now there's a new sheriff in town." That's referring to Gorilla King saying, "I'm happy with my scores. In the words of our fans, this is a big oof."
I know you originally picked Cogweave to win, but have your thoughts shifted after seeing Devil's Reject beat up the Gorilla King?
My thoughts have definitely shifted a bit, but let's be honest, no one saw that upset coming from last year's champ.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of our show. I am very excited as next week we get to review round 2 of the playoffs and the 2 teams that will be advancing to the Retro Bowl. One last thing. What is that dripping sound?
Oh, I know what it is. I mean, it's just a leak. Just not worry about it, Pete. Just keep going. Just not worry about it.
Are you saying there's been a leak in league headquarters?
Exactly.